Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. So trying to continue working through, my goal over time is obviously the next few episodes. I'm going to try to finish up this Frankfurt Koblenz career line within the content. Hello driver. You are in the driver's cab of a Suvix Flirt 3 running from Mainz HBF to Bingen HBF with an additional stop at Ingelheim. Due to construction work further up the line, this service will terminate at Bingen. Please let the passengers board before you leave. Alright, so I had forgotten. This is my second attempt at this scenario. I had forgotten the German signaling piece where when you pass a caution signal, basically the next light is going to be down at 40. And so I had missed that. So definitely need to fix that because that caused me some significant problems to the tune of many negative points. So we're going to see if we can do better. Unfortunately, we had been moving along at a pretty good pace. Just getting to the first stop and just really got clobbered, so I'm deciding to rerun it rather than take a terrible negative hit right away. So you can see that advanced signal just turned yellow here. We had passed when it was green and yellow because we had already started to slow down, I think, and that may have been why we went through a little bit of that. Alright. Just need to be careful that I don't actually start moving. So let me keep my hand on the brake in case I need that. Nope. Alright. So we're going to get headed out here. Whoops. Gotta move this to the forward. Then we can head out. So, yeah, this one gets a little busy out here because you've got all this wiring on top, all the tracks obviously down below that match up to it. It starts to look a little busy and just overwhelms the senses a bit, at least for me. You know, maybe you can handle it a little bit better, but for me it got to be too much pretty quickly. So, plus I pulled out of here a little bit slow, and then, you know, that didn't help because I wasn't sure if we were going to have a slow speed nearby, how that was all going to work. So I know we'll get up to 100 pretty quickly. We'll have to wait then until we can get to 160, but then until we were getting near the end there, we really weren't running into anything that was slowing us down until I misread things. Because, yeah, I was looking for markers that just weren't there and just did what I was not expecting to do. Let's see, if I go to 10, that'll slowly creep up, but not as much. We'll see if we can stay on this until we get to the 160 mark, or if we're going to pass before that. Because it is, after all, still a half a kilometer. Doesn't look very far on the scroll indicator, or whatever we want to call it. We might be okay. That would be nice. Again, the train has to be fully past that, but we're at that indicator now, and we weren't even at 99, so yeah, I think we'll be okay. We are. Alright. So now we will accelerate think I determined I needed to be about 25% to maintain speed or increase a bit. So when we get to about 155, I think I will do that. So joining up the tracks as we go down to a 2-track configuration now. 16 is the speed indicator. Probably because some trains had come in, so that's why they have that posted. Because we had obviously been at 160 kilometers for a bit. Alright, coming up on our point here. Alright, so we're going to put ourselves there. And so, yeah, with those side or advanced signals, when they're not just fully green, that's when we're being told, unless otherwise indicated, it drops down to 40 before the next signal. And that's where I had a bit of a problem the last time. And I think I probably do need to slow down like I had before. Because I had seen a 60 coming up and was starting to slow, and then had kind of gotten down to 60, but was thinking, well, I'm still far away, so I'll go ahead and accelerate a bit, and that's when it caught me. And of course, by the time I could do anything to slow down, it was far, far too late. So yeah, it's about 12 kilometers on the distance. So again, this is 22.4 kilometers there. So our stop will be at about 12-ish, maybe, between 12 and 13. So we'll just have to see, because I definitely am going quicker than I was in the last run. I may hit some signal earlier, so I just need to be more aware. And I was hoping, since the last episode that was 105 minutes, and we ran the full line, and I had basically been constantly commenting about the German signals, I was hoping that that had indicated, like, I had learned my signaling really well. But obviously I had forgotten that piece of it until it slapped me in the face and then reminded me of it. So, looks like here we've got some sidings. Looks like a freight train, so I'm sure during the morning commute like this, they keep freight off the line so that the passenger trains can just go. Because I'm pretty sure freight trains are not moving through here at 160 kilometers an hour. Maybe they are, but I'm guessing that is unlikely. So we're already approaching 6 kilometers till we are going to hit our stop. So definitely getting in that realm. And last time I was talking, when I got down to 4, like, I need to start paying attention, because this is where it gets easy to blow by, and then suddenly all hell broke loose. So we are getting there pretty quickly compared to what I was doing before. Alright, and I think pretty soon we start seeing the 60, and then we pass the signal, and that's what then did me in. So I think maybe before the next signal. No, not yet. So keep heading forward. There it is. Alright, so this is still green. So from here to the next light, I'm okay. But I am going to drop myself down. And then this was where I had started to slow down and go to full service, because here I'm still okay, I'm green. But then here you can see I've got I'm not green. And so that's the one that before the next signal, I need to be down to 40. So I just need to keep that in mind. So I can go a little ways here, but I need to be slowed down before that signal. Because this, I think, shows 15, and this was like, well, wow, you can go, we're going to get slowed to 150, and then suddenly it was worse than that. Alright, so coming up. Alright, so now we're a little quicker. So 0.15 will be at 40. And we'll see that drop down in a moment here. So right here, bam. So that's where it had caught us. And then if we see another light at some point, we'll just have to be aware, but actually we don't have another signal before the station, so this should be it. But we've got a ways to go to the station. It's possible it'll bring us back up to 60 there, but I'm not sure that it will. But right now we're about 30 seconds ahead of schedule, which, like in the last scenario, that just meant it kept me moving. Okay, so clearly we're just staying at 40, which is fine, because then I don't have to play with something dropping down again. But coming in this slow, we really don't need to brake until we're almost in the platform. Now it did rise us to 60, but unless the time starts ticking up, which it is a little bit, but we're close enough that I think we're just going to let it go, because obviously speeding up and then immediately slowing down is not great for passenger comfort either. And I think we're in pretty good shape here, so all right. So there we go, about 7 seconds early. And now we're then going to go for about 8 more minutes. So it's a shorter run, because this was basically 11. And as long as I'm careful with my signaling, I shouldn't have any difficulty. And there's that fun signal that we can figure is at best timing. So in case we start drifting, I've got my finger on the brakes again. Probably should at least put a little bit of brake on. And at least I won't have any opportunity to float forward. But yeah, still kind of a challenge, every time. There's just a lot to do to be really, really good at this, and obviously I tend to keep having something show up. Right, so 7:45 was when we were going to be able to leave, so it was a 2-minute stop no matter what, anyway. So at maybe 45, I'll back the brake off because it doesn't look like we're going to float. Ooh, he materialized out of nowhere, speaking of floating. Alright. Just keeping my hand there. Alright, I think I'm safe now. There we go. So we can go 60. So we will get headed out of here. And then hopefully we'll get up to speed pretty quickly after that. We'll get an opportunity to speed up. We'll see how that all goes. Because right now, for 1.5 kilometers, it doesn't look like we're doing anything different. Oh, now it says 160. Okay. So I guess I'm incorrect. We are doing something different. Alright, so nothing on the triangle, which means we proceed at line speed because it's green. Just kind of trying to get things back in my head. Obviously we'll see a yellow 15 somewhere before that, probably, warning us that we need to slow down a bit. But yeah, it is about the same distance, and maybe that's because we didn't have to go 80 and 100 to begin with. We were able to just move. So that's the passenger crossing that we're always familiar with. I think at this point we just don't exceed 150 is what we end up doing as we go this way, because we're finally at 140 and we're almost, we're going to be at 1 kilometer by the time we hit 150. So it's like, well, is it really worth doing anything like that? And it probably is not. I wasn't looking at my sign posts on the side, but as I said, I'm assuming I probably saw a yellow 15 go by somewhere. There's the regular 15 that tells me that's my speed. Alright, signal coming up. Then we'll be at 160 again after the turn. Is what happens. Alright, 8.2 kilometers. So theoretically the line starts counting. There's the 16. The line starts counting in a different direction before we get there, because now we're finally at 8.2 to get there, and we're reading 7.2-ish, so. Alright, put ourselves at 25. Keep an eye out again so we don't get a signal surprise. But other than that, we'll just keep moving on this foggy morning. Alright, another pedestrian crosswalk creates those sounds, is what I could figure out. Alright, staying fully green, proceed at line speed. It's always a good thing. Church there in the middle of town. 155 out of 160. We're doing well. We're about a minute ahead. Not sure if there will be another stop between this one and ours that we pass through. Doesn't really matter. It's just a point of interest, obviously. Alright, lots of stuff here. Alright, still green, still good. so we're gonna get ourselves up here to full service. Alright, nothing yellow, nothing like that. Alright, so we'll keep heading over. But 3 kilometers to go. A kilometer until we have to be down to 100, so we'll just make sure. Not a real reason to exceed that right now. We are losing a little bit of time, but not a ton. Alright. So that's just telling us we need to be down at 9 in a bit. We have the yellow 9 coming up. Alright, a minute early. Early is a good thing. So, 0.4 kilometers. Service, and here at the base of the mountains we will be getting into our station soon. So there is the platform. Still about a half a kilometer. It's a lengthy little platform, this one is, so we will let it move along. So here that's the 10 to tell us that it would increase if we were continuing. Alright, so now we're going to go full service because we are fully on the platform. We can stop at any point here. Alright, so we should have made it. We should have made it with a perfect score. So not bad. I mean, I had to do it again. So not what I normally want, but kind of came back pretty quick, kind of like riding a bike, right? So I'm sure we'll get the message shortly, maybe at 7:53. I don't know that it's going to make us wait the whole time. It may. But because of construction, we're unable to continue. So this is the end of the line for our service today. Well, there we go. Well done. The passengers will have to make other arrangements to carry on with their journeys. You can take a well-earned rest. So there we go. We got the full 1,000. We're getting up to 26, just our 3 timeliness things. We also, I think, got a distance for traveling on the FKKB line. That popped up about a third of the way through, but 800 was our target. So thanks for coming along on the journey. I will see you next time.